A very good morning to all. I am S. Emmanuel, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Chemistry, St.Joseph's College, Cuddalore. Today we are going to discuss about the plastic. What is plastic? What are the classifications of present in plastic? That only we are discuss in polymer chemistry chapter in this semester. Now we are going to talk about the plastics. Plastics are high molecular weight organic materials that can be molded into any desired shape by the applications of heat and pressure in the presence of catalyst. So, in modern situation, all the peoples are using plastics. At the same times, all the peoples are depends upon the plastic because the plastics are high molecular weight. At the same time, organic material. We are molded any desired shape or object anything. Just you can apply the mold in heat and pressure. We can choose and select any one of the object. So all the peoples are like in plastic nowadays. Some informative and introduction of plastics. Point number 1. Originally plastics were discovered and then developed based on trial and error method. This is in discovered trial and error method, but nowadays all the world depends upon the plastic. Second point, the present time is sometimes referred as plastic age because the use of polymeric material is percolated in large variety of applications. So in all the applications, the plastic will be present in all the types of materials. Third one, this rapid growth has taken place only in the last 50 years. So, in plastic will be grown in last 50 years in many places in all the peoples are using and growth will be developed by plastic. It was man's desire to develop the plastics for engineering applications to replace the glass, metal, ceramic, wood and other materials of construction. So, all the places desired in plastics. Since plastic possesses the following advantages, they have wider applications. Why we are like plastics? So, the advantages of plastic over other materials in compare with wood, metal, all the peoples are like in plastic. What? That only we are discussed in this slide. In point number 1, they are light in weight. Second one, they possess low melting point. Third point, they can be easily molded and have excellent finishing. They possess very good strength and toughness. They possess good shock absorption capacity. They are corrosion resistant and chemically inert. They have low coefficient of thermal expansion and possess good thermal and electrical insulating property. They are very good water resistant and possess good adhesiveness. So these kind of points are we are using in our home. Light in weight, melting point also very low. At the same time, excellent finishing will be given the plastics. In metal, is not finishing is good. In compare with plastics, the plastics finishing is very good and nice. At the same time, the plastics are good shock absorption capacity. So in old days, the peoples we are using in insulating tape in certain precaution method, any damage in wire, suddenly you can use in plastic cover or polythene bag because the plastics are good shock absorption capacity. So this is the very important and advantages of plastics over other materials. Disadvantages of plastics: softness, embrittlement at low temperature, deformation under load, low heat resistant and poor ductility, combustibility, degradation upon is exposure to heat and UV radiation. Seventh one, non-biodegradable. These points are disadvantages of plastics. The seventh one is very important because the non-biodegradable of plastic, so that only generate in global warming and nature disaster. Classification of plastics. The classifications of plastic based on structure and type of resin used for the manufacture of plastics. The plastics are classified into two main types. First one thermoplastic, second one thermosetting plastic. So, how to classify in thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic? This is depends upon the types of resin and structure will be used in the manufacturing of plastics. So, we can create one plastic, that time what kind of resin or what kind of structure will be chosen, that only classified into types of plastics, thermoplastic, and another one is thermosetting plastics. Diagram. The plastics are classified into two types. First one thermoplastic, second one is thermosetting plastic. The thermoplastics examples are polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride, polystyrene, polyacrylonitrile. In thermosetting plastics example, bakelite, polyester, urea formaldehyde, and epoxy resin. These examples are very important for in 1 mark questions. So you can concentrate the examples of thermoplastic and thermosetting plastics. First we are going to discuss about thermoplastic. What is thermoplastic? First point, thermoplastics are prepared by addition polymerization. Thermoplastics are prepared by additional polymerization. The monomer converted to polymer without no elimination of small molecules. That is called as additional polymerization. And second point, they are straight chain or slightly branched polymers, and various chains are held together by weak van der Waals forces of attraction. And third one, the thermoplastics can be softened on heating and hardened on cooling. They are generally soluble in organic solvents. These 2 points are very important. The polymer in thermoplastics are heat on soften, harden on cooling. So this is the main comparison of thermoplastic and thermosetting plastics. This is the straight chain. At the same time, the weak van der Waals force attraction will be present in the thermoplastic. In important point, soften on heating, hardened on cooling. In next one, there are generally soluble in organic solvent. This is very important 1 mark question. All the thermoplastic materials are soluble in organic solvents. Examples of thermoplastic: polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride. This is the straight chain of thermoplastic material. In the weak van der Waals force applied to the first polymer chain and second polymer chain in third polymer chain. The weak van der Waals force only connected in both three chains. So in heated on thermoplastic is appear in softened. In case you can cool, the plastic will be hardened. This is the main character of thermoplastic. So the example of thermoplastic is polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride. The definition of thermosetting resins or thermosetting polymer. The thermosetting plastics are prepared by condensation polymerization. In condensation polymerization is the monomer converted to polymer with elimination like water or small molecules. That is called as condensation polymerization. So thermosetting plastics or thermosetting resins are also called as condensation polymerization. The various polymer chains are held together by strong covalent bond is called crosslinks. The thermosetting plastics get hardened on heating, and once hardened they cannot be softened again. They are almost insoluble in organic solvent. This is also very important point. The thermosetting plastics are hardened on heating. Once hardened they cannot be softened again. But thermoplastic soften on heating, cooling on harden. So this is the main characterization and difference of thermosetting and thermoplastic. In thermosetting resin will be hardened on heating. Once hardened they cannot be softened again. At the same time, the most important one mark question, the thermosetting plastics are thermosetting resins insoluble in organic solvent. This is the main deviation and difference of thermoplastic and thermosetting plastics. The example of thermosetting plastic, bakelite and polyester. Here, no weak van der Waals force present in the polymer chain. So, you can apply the heat, the polymer of bakelite or polyester will be hardened. Once hardened, not flexible in softened nature. So, this is the main concept. Here, all the monomer units are connected with the strong covalent bond. So, you can apply any strength, the bakelite or plastic will be brittle. So, this is the example of thermosetting plastics. An important question, the difference between thermoplastic and thermosetting plastics. Thermoplastic, the first point, the thermoplastics are formed by additional polymerization. Additional polymerization means monomer converted to polymer without elimination. This is called as thermoplastic. In thermosetting, they are formed by the condensation polymerization. The condensation polymerization is monomer converted to polymer with elimination of water and small molecules. Second difference, they consist of thermoplastic linear long chain polymer. The thermoplastics are linear long chain polymer. In thermosetting, plastics are three-dimensional or network structure. Third one, all the thermoplastic polymers are chains are held together by weak van der Waals force. In thermosetting resins, the polymer chains are linked by strong covalent bond. So you can apply the heat, the polymer material will be hardened. Once hardened, they do not come from softened stage. But thermoplastic, the weak van der Waals force into the polymer chain, so you can heat, the polymer material will be softened. Again you can cool, the material will be hardened in nature. This is the fourth point. They are weak, soft and less brittle of thermoplastic. In thermosetting plastic, they are strong, hard and more brittle nature. In fifth point, the thermoplastics are softened on heating and hardened on cooling. The thermosetting plastics, they do not soften on heating. Once you apply the heat, the thermosetting plastics are hardened. In sixth one, they can be remolded in thermoplastics, but in thermosetting plastics, they cannot be remolded. In seventh one, the thermoplastics have low molecular weight. In thermosetting polymer have high molecular weight. In eighth one, they are thermoplastics are soluble in organic solvents, but thermosetting plastics are insoluble in organic solvents. This kind of difference is very important. So dear students, this is the plastics and introduction of plastics and how to classify it into the plastic. What are the difference between thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic? The most advantages present in the plastic, but this is not, plastics are non biodegradable nature. So this only affected in our world. So plastics is very important in our topic. So please concentrate all the chapter of plastics. Thank you.